Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live Argentina discussion. My name is Roy Nemer of Mundo Albiceleste.com. I am joined by Osvaldo Godoy, also of Mundo Albiceleste.com. And we haven't done one of these in a while, particularly myself. This is on me, not Osvaldo. I've been a little bit busy to start the year, but we're back, and it's a big year. We have a lot to talk about. And as always, let us know down below where you're watching from. And first things first, Osvaldo, how are you and how is everything, my friend?
I'm good, Roy. Yes, it's true. It's been a while. But well, this year it's going to be a big one for Argentina. Especially considering last year, I believe Argentina didn't play any major tournaments, right? It was the Copa America was 2024, but last year there was not much action. But this one with the Finalissima in just less than 2 months, Roy. I think it's 50 days, less than 50 days now. And then the World Cup. I'm very excited.
No, it's going to be a big year, and you're right. We didn't really have many. We had qualifying matches last year,
Yeah.
but Argentina was all but qualified for the World Cup. A lot of friendly matches. Yeah, we have the Finalissima, as you said, in less than 2 months' time. Then there's the World Cup, and I mean, it's not there's nothing bigger in football than that,
Yeah.
especially as the reigning champions, right? For Argentina, the reigning World Cup
Yeah.
champions,
No,
and
especially
Finalissima.
yeah. A lot of competitive friendly matches last year, right?
Yeah, very, very competitive, very difficult matches. A lot of them. No, it's. I hope. I mean, I haven't checked the schedule after the World Cup. I usually they play around September, I think, and they might do some changes this year where I think they're going to combine September and October. So we'll see when for that. But yeah, the big stuff is the Finalissima. The big stuff is the World Cup, and with the Finalissima just around the corner, we already have I want to say a big injury for Argentina, but Gio Lo Celso injured for Betis and might miss or set to miss the Finalissima.
Yes, he has a muscle tear, and most likely he will miss it. And if he doesn't, he's definitely not gonna get 100% fit to that match. If you was me, I wouldn't have started him in the match, not at all. I know it's one of Scaloni's favorites in the midfield. But if you also see, for example, Spain has had major injuries in the last few weeks. They're also going to be missing some players for the Finalissima. Some others are definitely not going to get there 100% fit. We'll see. We still have approximately 50 days to the match, and both teams might suffer other injuries. Hopefully, there's not many more for Argentina. Um, of course, it's never good when a player like Lo Celso gets injured. But I think that we still have a good midfield where we can play some other options, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, 100%, 100%. And like you, I don't think I would have started Lo Celso either, especially with some of the most in-form Argentine players, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But when you consider the form of the other players, he is injury prone, the depth in quality as well. And that's the crazy part about Argentina and Spain specifically are you could throw in France, I guess, but no team, no other teams have the depth in midfield that Argentina has, that Spain has, and arguably France has as well, from top to bottom, all positions. Um, and Spain's been dealing with some stuff. Argentina, of course, as well. And a couple of years back, right before the World Cup in 2022, when this happened, this was a big blow for Argentina. This was massive because Enzo and McAllister were in the team, but they weren't really in the team. McAllister was a big part. Fast forward 4 years, I hate to say it. I mean, it's not really a big loss for Argentina, as weird as that
No,
sounds.
no. It's true. Enzo Fernandez and Alexis McAllister were not even much considered. I think Alexis McAllister started playing after the first match where Papu Gomez played kind of in that position. And that's another big question that we can also talk another time, especially as the World Cup is coming in a few months. Is I'm sure there's gonna be Scaloni has a starting 11 in mind, but same as 2022. I think he had one in mind, but then Julian Alvarez appeared, Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister. I think we're gonna have two or three players that are not gonna be thought as starters by the coaching team, the coaching staff, but at the end they're gonna be very important in the tournament.
Oh, I completely agree. 100% agree. And I'll get to the chat in just a minute. I see it's getting it's getting lively. Um, yeah, I mean, you mentioned McAllister, you mentioned Enzo Fernandez. This year, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up, and we're going to talk about him, and we're going to talk about other players, of course. Valentin Barco. He's one that a couple of months back or a year ago we were saying maybe as a left back for Argentina. Now, potentially as starter in midfield, just based off of form, of course. You have him and you have other players as well. And I do agree. I think we're going to get a couple of positions between now and the World Cup, or a couple of players, excuse me, show up that might change Scaloni's mind a little bit, or at least give him some more options around the pitch, not necessarily just in midfield.
Definitely. And in the case of Barco, I remember talking about, okay, he's very talented, but he's not really good defending. Well, he doesn't have to defend as much in midfield as much
Yeah,
as a left back. So I think that particular issue is kind of fixed with him playing as a midfielder, and he's doing it great with Strasbourg.
yeah,
He's a great player. He's also kind of, it reminds me of the Paul or like most of Argentine players where he gets in a fight in every single match with an opponent, and he kind of has that Argentine gen,
yeah.
the
The genetics.
exactly.
Yeah, the genetics. That's very true, and that's something. I read a comment. I believe it was on Mundo Albiceleste. I think it was yesterday. One of the comments on the site said, Argentina, Spain could play with flair, but they can't play that physical game. Whereas Argentina can play that physical game and can play the flair. They can do both. And that physical game, you mentioned De Paul, you mentioned Barco, you have Paredes, you have McAllister, have Enzo Fernandez in midfield. There's so many players that can play beautiful football, but at the same time get physical and get dirty if needed on the pitch. And I think you have to have that.
Definitely, definitely. You were just mentioning the midfield, and I know it's kind of going off topic, but there's two players there that I think they have a chance to be in the, at least in the call up for the Finalissima. And they're two players from Leverkusen, Ezequiel Palacios and Eki Fernandez, also great and talented. Uh, Palacios having many more minutes in the national teams so far, but Eki Fernandez also rising in his level and, in my opinion, in Scaloni's consideration. Those are other two midfielders that could easily, I believe, replace Lo Celso in the call up.
Oh, definitely. But Palacios is back. I'll be honest, I haven't watched too much of Leverkusen in the last couple of weeks, but I do know that Palacios is back. And based off what you're telling me, I'm guessing Eki Fernandez is getting some playing time as well. So those might be some players. I see some more names in the chat. And let's get to that. Big hello, Roy and Osvaldo from the Fiji Islands. Hello,
Wow.
Edwin. Thank you for joining us. Shah Fitness as well. Hello, my friend. Thank you so much for joining. I want to say Shah Fitness, I think from India, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you for joining, Mr. Happy. Hey there, Mr. Happy. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Valentin Barco being the World Cup squad. He is so versatile, and at a young age, he's growing drastically. He is, and that's a big plus for Argentina. And I think he's the type of player that Scaloni likes in his versatility. And I think another one that's versatile right here, Marco Senesi has to be there, and Emi Buendia's form is also needed to be taken into consideration. Buendia also versatile. The only thing maybe going against Buendia is he is injury prone,
True.
and that's the similar to Lo Celso. He'll play very well, and then he'll pick up an injury, and he'll be out sometimes a long time, and sometimes a short amount of time. So, but someone in good form. Alan Varela, I haven't seen much of Varela, and that's on me. I haven't watched
Well,
many
let
of his
me
games.
let me tell you, I have to double check right now, but Porto are doing really well, and I know he's starting most of the matches. Let me see. They're first in the league,
Wow,
but I want to see because I think
absolutely.
they're first. They won 18 matches, tied one, and lost one in the whole season.
Yeah,
They're doing really well.
oh wow, and hopefully he's playing well, and he's another one that is an option in midfield. Shah Fitness from Malaysia, excuse me, from Malaysia, not from India. My apologies, Shah Fitness. Scaloni has a happy problem. Yeah, he can't create an A team and B team. Actually, that's very true. It might be worth maybe doing a separate video when it comes to this, because this would be cool to do. And Jaco Taco, long time, my friend. Definitely greetings. Thank you so much for joining. So, we spoke about Lo Celso's injury and obviously some of the other players as well in here. Um, you mentioned that, and we briefly spoke about it in terms of, there might be some players popping up here and there that might catch Scaloni's attention, maybe force his hand a little bit. Now, I'm not saying this one will force his hand. I'm not saying that's the case, but maybe might get shortlisted. Aaron Anselmino joins Strasbourg on loan from Chelsea, so not with Borussia Dortmund anymore. It's him, Barco, and Joaquin Panicelli at Strasbourg. Um, this would be something if all three somehow make the World Cup team for Argentina.
Definitely. And now I'm even more excited to watch Strasbourg now with Aaron Anselmino. It was a difficult moment for Anselmino leaving Borussia Dortmund. We saw him in tears. And then at Chelsea, they basically told him, "Hey, we're not gonna use you." So there was a lot of criticism, and I think good criticism to Chelsea and their management because it was kind of weird what they did with Anselmino. But now he goes to Strasbourg. Hopefully, he's able to have playing time there. Another player that he's very young, but he's also injury prone. Hopefully, he stays fit. Um, and
Yeah,
and I don't know. I mean, we have in that position we have Valerdi. We have potentially Facundo Medina, Senesi. Of course, I'm not mentioning Cuti Romero, Licha Martinez, Otamendi.
Otamendi.
We just have too many there.
There's a lot. There's certainly a lot. Yeah. Good for him. That whole situation was very odd, as you mentioned. And guys, I'm gonna get to the chat. I love it. I see some names mentioned there. Who's gonna replace whom, and we'll get to that. But yeah, it's very as good as he might be. Like he might, let's say, from now till the end of the season, if he puts in 10 out of 10 performances, does he still make the World Cup team because of the depth that you just mentioned? I mean, Lisandro Martinez, since coming back from Manchester United, has, in my opinion, been the best Argentine defender right now. And I know I don't want to get ahead of myself. We're going to talk about the most informed players, but he's been great for Manchester United. Cuti Romero, a lot of controversy, especially today after the red card versus Manchester United, but we know what he brings for Argentina. Otamendi, still very good. We know what he brings. Balerdi is another one that's gotten into the team. Senesi's back in the team, in the squad. You mentioned Medina and Anselmino. There's so much talent there. And Scaloni could only bring so many center backs to the team, to the World Cup.
Exactly. Yes. We know that Lisandro Martinez, Cuti Romero, and Otamendi are going to be there. I would say Balerdi too. I'm almost sure Balerdi is going to go.
Yeah.
And then how many more center backs are you going to take? One,
I don't know.
Two, max.
Maybe Medina, just because he's versatile. Like he can play other positions as well. Maybe.
Just because of that, maybe.
A very, very good question here from Jack Otako. Who do you think replaces Foyth? I mean, Foyth is another one that was in the team. Like he came back into the team and he's injured. So that's one less choice or one less option at right back. So it's like we have so many options at center back, not so much maybe at left back or right back. And it's tough. Maybe Medina, as we spoke about, because of his versatility. I think obviously Otamendi is going to be there. Balerdi is all but certain. I have a suspicion. I'll say it now. I think Senesi makes it. I think Senesi makes it. But that's the thing. You're at 5-6 center backs at this point. It's wow. It's a lot. It is a lot. Yeah.
It is. It makes sense, Senesi going. I think out of those center backs that we say they're confirmed, the only lefty would be Lisandro Martinez. So having another lefty like Senesi,
could be good. And you know what? Maybe we could get something where, I mean, Lisandro has played as a left back for Argentina.
True.
Maybe slot him as left back if Tagliafico for whatever reason can't play, or if you want to give him a rest.
It.
Yeah, and you have someone else play as center back, not necessarily with 5 defenders, but really 4 defenders and 1 left back, 2 center backs. And I don't know. There are some options there. There are certainly some options there.
Yes, definitely.
Edwin saying Nico Dominguez. He's another one with Nottingham Forest. I don't think he makes it. Just because of the competition. There's so much depth right now. I don't think he makes it.
I agree.
Rio saying Papu Gomez dances better than he plays. I think he's back to playing now after his suspension. I think it's been
really?
2 years. I believe so. I want to say he's back, I think, in the third division in Italy or second, something like that. I remember seeing, but I could be wrong. Elijah, hello, Elijah. What's up, guys? Doing well. Glad to have you here. How are you? Um, Shafi, I don't know about this one. I don't think he does unless Scaloni surprises us and calls him.
Valentin Barco. True.
Yeah, there's another one. There is another one. Uh, Center back, good form for Betis. Does he get called up? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Has I think I remember seeing him playing or reading that he played as a left back at one point for
He's
Betis.
been playing a lot as a left back.
Yeah, he's not short. He's a meter 90, a meter 91. So he's not short. He's not a short option to have. I don't know. There's there's depth there.
Yeah,
There's
out
certainly a
of
lot of depth.
all the ones we're naming, I think he's the youngest one. Maybe if you think about the future,
Uh,
I would say
but
so. I'm almost sure.
he's 22.
Yeah, yeah, compared
He's
to Medina, Valerdi,
yeah.
Senesi.
Barco is what? Barco's 21. I mean, Barco,
Yeah, yeah.
midfielder.
Barco, I count
Yeah,
him more as a midfielder, honestly.
midfielder. Yeah, but yeah, but Gomez he's 22, potentially one for the future. That's the thing. I would have liked to have seen. I know we spoke about this in the last videos. In those friendly matches, I would have liked to have seen Barco play. I would have liked to have seen Valentin Gomez play. Give
I agree.
them the opportunity to see, because now it's the Finalissima and then it's the World Cup. So,
True.
but hey, Scaloni knows best. I don't doubt him. Um, I think Carboni should get called up. Oh man, I know Scaloni loves Carboni. He's high on him, but I don't
Look,
think he makes it.
let me tell you, Racing, he's playing for Racing,
Yes.
and they lost the first three matches. By the way, while I'm reading the Racing result, they won actually today. And River
Okay.
is losing 3-0 against Tigre at home, which makes
Ooh,
me
at
really
Winter
happy, to be honest. But well, some Argentines there that could be called up, like Acuna, Montiel. Acuna, I believe he's
uh,
in the bench. I think he's still recovering.
Acuna. I don't see Acuna making the World Cup. Montiel might.
Really?
I don't think Acuna makes the World Cup. No, no.
Really?
I I would be surprised. I think Montiel makes it. I don't think Acuna does.
Okay.
It's man. I don't know unless Scaloni sees Barco as a left wing or left wing back or something. I don't know. I don't know what the options are at left back right now. It appears to be Nico Gonzalez.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
He is.
And yeah. And talking about Treboni, what I was saying was that he played the first few matches with Racing. They
Yeah.
lost. They were very disappointed with his performance, and he didn't even start today. He entered in the minute 90 in the match Racing against Argentina Juniors. He wasn't playing at Genoa. Now at Racing, apparently he lost his spot in the starting 11. I think there's no chance Carboni makes it.
No. If this was like after 2024, after the Copa America, before his injury, if he would have not been injured, I would have said maybe, very, very possible. But right now, I doubt it. I don't think he makes it. There's so much competition in any position that he plays in because he is versatile. But I don't think he makes it. I don't think so.
Yeah. Let me just complete something about the River
Sure.
against Tigre match just for 1 second. The third goal for Tigre was scored by Russo, who is the son of Miguel Angel Russo,
Miguel Angel Russo, yeah.
Boca Juniors coach that passed away a few months ago.
Yeah. Oof. I remember seeing his celebration, the first goal
Yes.
after his father passed. I remember seeing that. Yeah, River are not. They're not in a good spot right now. They're
No,
not
no,
in a
no,
good
no.
spot. No. Um, oh man, you see the names right now. I know we're going a little bit all over the place, but I love this. Nico Pass, Mastantuono, Jaco Taco. Do you think they both make it? I think Pass makes it guaranteed. I know Scaloni loves Mastantuono. I think he's very good. I just don't know if he's good enough considering the competition for this World Cup. I don't know. He's still young, and I don't know about this. I don't know what you think, Osvaldo. I don't know what everyone else in the chat thinks. I think Paz makes it. I think Mastantuono will make it, but man, I don't know. This is a tough one.
I think Paz and Mastantuono make it. I don't think Soule makes it, for example. Yeah, I think that Nico Paz could play more as a midfielder, maybe Mastantuono more as a right winger. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be tough. I don't know.
It's a tough one for sure, for sure. And Pass is good, Masantuano's good, but Pass is probably the best young player right now in the world, considering he's really done well, and it's going to be interesting to see him at Madrid next year when he goes back.
Yes,
It's,
yes.
yeah,
There's rumors, and it's kind of confirmed that Real Madrid is gonna take him, and they're gonna actually give him some playing time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The guy is that good. He is that good. Um, let's see what else we got. Elijah Rossi should be the Argentina third goalkeeper. Man, potentially. That's I don't know if he does make it. I mean, he didn't make it in the friendly matches, but he's good enough to be the third choice for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
Follow-up question. Oh boy, do they get important minutes or even start? Man, I want to say they get minutes. I don't see them starting, no, but I see them coming on maybe regularly as substitutes.
I think Nico Paz is gonna be the Enzo Fernandez of the 2022 World Cup. I think Nico Paz will win a spot at some point in the World Cup.
Yeah, it's my eyes kind of lit up when you said that. It's a bold prediction, but I think you're right. I could see it happening. I could really,
Yeah.
really see that happening. 100%. Yes, he's so good. He is so good. Uh, yeah, no Matias Soulé. This is. I feel like Soulé is similar to Dybala in the sense of I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. No one knows really why he hasn't been called up, and even when he was in very good form for Roma. Um, let's see this. Hey, Villarreal fan TV. Welcome, welcome. Do you think Panicelli will be called up? Personally, I think it will be unforgivable if he doesn't. I'm glad we didn't get Norway. As a Norwegian, I didn't want us to face them. You know what? If he continues to score regularly, I think Panicelli makes the World Cup over Lopez of Palmeiras. I,
Oof.
he's a different kind of player. He's in good form. He's still scoring, not every single game for Strasbourg, but he's still scoring. He's a different kind of number 9 than Lautaro or Julian.
Yeah,
He's good in the air. I could see him being I don't want to say surprised, but I could see him being that surprise call up, let's say, for Argentina. I could see that. If he continues
yeah,
steadily doing well.
yes, yes. I mean, there's definitely gonna be a third striker. I think I agree with you. It's either Lopez or someone else. But honestly, Castro from Bologna hasn't been really playing much, or Castellanos. Well, today he scored.
He scored, yeah.
Um,
I mean,
I don't know.
it's that's the thing. When you look at those kinds of strikers, Castellanos, I mean, it's his first goal in the Premier League, second goal overall since joining West Ham. I, I mean, unless he ends up scoring, let's say, 10 goals from now to the end of the season, Castellanos, I don't see him getting called up. He's been called up before. And, I mean, I don't know. Scaloni liked him, didn't like him, but we didn't see too much of him. Panicelli's playing in Europe. And if Barco does get called up, you do get that chemistry, that experience of them playing together. Maybe that helps. I don't know, right? I'm thinking out loud here, but I could see Panicelli making it. I'll go that far. At this point, I could see
Yes,
him making it. But
I I really believe that Scaloni makes a lot of decisions based on the characteristics of the players.
yes,
We had, for example, Dybala. I remember he was the player of the month of the Serie A for for like 3 months or something, and he wasn't called up, and then suddenly he was called up. Or he had Matias Solé, who was really playing very well at Roma, and he wasn't called up. I think that if Panicelli scores 5 goals in every single game, that is not going to change anything to Scaloni. Just in the way that I think sees football and why he calls up a player over the other. I think he sees other things.
you know what? That's true, and it's tough to argue in that sense. I think form to a certain extent does play a factor, but yes, I think it's more the characteristics and the reason why I agree with you, and the reason why I think, in my opinion, we're both kind of right on this is based off the characteristics from the past up until now. Scaloni, I feel like, is looking for that traditional target man, that traditional number nine, that is good in the air, that will hold up play. That's different to Julian and Lautaro. And we saw it with Castellanos, it didn't work out. We saw it with Beltran, didn't work out. Now both Panicelli and Lopez were called up. So I think come the Finalissima, if one of them gets called up, I think that person has the advantage going into the World Cup in terms of being called up. So based off that characteristic, I think you're right. And that's why I think Panicelli does get called, in the sense of Scaloni, I feel like, is still looking for that traditional number nine.
Yeah.
Just because we've seen different players try.
True. I think that the three strikers are gonna be Julian, Lautaro, and Jose Manuel Lopez. And if
Okay.
someone gets injured, I think Panicelli might go. Yes, it's I don't know. It's gonna be. We don't know.
We'll see. I think the Finalissima might give us some indication. Who knows? I'm liking this. Andy Jake and Carlos Tevez still make the team. Maybe about 20 years too late for this one. Rio, we're just talking about Castellanos, my friend. I mean, maybe if he scores a bunch of goals from now to the end of the season, he might be in contention, but I doubt it. Jack Otako, and then we'll continue on. As for pass, I think he and Messi should play together, but Scaloni likes to use one or the other. He's only played them together early on. I think the issue could be that Pass and Leo occupy similar spots. Could be as well, but I could see, like you said, Osvaldo, I could see Pass being the Enzo Fernandez of 2022 or 2026. I could see that. All right, let's continue on. We're mentioning a lot of players, and many of them are in form. The top 5 most in-form Argentine players right now. I want everybody in the chat, give us your list. And for those watching us, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button. Let us know what you guys think, of course. Osvaldo, we mentioned off a lot of players. Top 5 most in-form.
Yes. I
mean,
wanna go
it.
with Valentin Barco for sure. He has to be there. Then
I agree.
I think Lisandro Martinez is in great
Yes.
form too.
Yes.
I think Enzo Fernandez with Chelsea is playing great.
Absolutely. I'd go Nico Pass
And
as well.
Nico Paz could be a good fourth. Yeah, definitely. And I have one
Okay.
that we haven't really mentioned much.
Yeah.
That everyone these days, since the year started, the World Cup is approaching, the Finalissima is approaching, and everyone on Twitter, on social media, they're building their starting 11, their ideal starting 11 for Argentina. And I always see in this starting 11, like Barco, for example, Nico Paz, Messi, of course, Julian Alvarez. I haven't seen Lautaro Martinez in those starting 11. And I think that's a debate that we need to have. We have it, I believe, every single time that Argentina plays for the last few years.
Yeah.
And the question is if Lautaro is gonna start over Julian over Lautaro, or if they can play together. And that's I named Lautaro because I think he's might be one of the top 5 most informed Argentine players. He is the Serie A top goal scorer, and in the past Copa America, he was the top goal scorer even without starting.
Yeah, that's. I'll get back to the other 4 names, and we'll get to the chat 100%. And I do agree with you. I was leaning towards Lautaro as that 5th. He's someone that's underrated, and I would say underappreciated. And a lot of the hate, I don't know. I mean, I understand it, but it doesn't make sense to me. In that people still hate on him for the World Cup, how he didn't score a single goal, but he was injured and he played on painkillers, and he still scored a massive penalty versus the Netherlands in the quarterfinals. And he scored the winning goal in extra time versus Colombia in the Copa America final, and still that wasn't enough for people. He scored a bunch of goals in the qualifiers, still that wasn't enough for people. He's the top goal scorer, you just mentioned it, in Italy, still that's not enough for people. And I don't know if it's because maybe he's not flashy enough or doesn't play in the flashiest of leagues, but he knows how to score goals, and he knows how to score goals in big games. And as you were talking, I just pulled it up now. He has 13 goals in 23 games this season in the league. 13 and 23. He has 3 goals in his last 3 matches. At one point, he had 3, 4, 5, 6. He had 6 goals in 5 matches. He's underappreciated for me. And as you mentioned, we always have that debate who should start. And for me, there are different kinds of strikers. Alvarez, more versatile, will track back maybe a little bit more than Lautaro, whereas Lautaro might have that killer instinct a little bit more than Julian. And I'm glad you mentioned Lautaro because I would include him. Yes, 100%. 100%.
So we have our top 5, right? We have Lautaro, Nico Paz, Lisandro Martinez, Enzo Fernandez, and
we
Barco.
said Barco, there you go. And Barco. Yeah, that's it for me. Take a look at the chat. Jaco Taco saying Barco, Paz, Enzo, Lautaro, and Panicelli. Okay. I could get behind that. But Lisandro for me is just, he's playing at a different level right now for United. Welcome Patrick. Patrick saying Enzo, Lautaro, and Paz. Sha Fitness saying Barco, Romero, Panicelli, Paz, Enzo. Tough to argue.
Romero, I mean, taking aside the red card of today, and
Yeah.
I saw your tweet, and I saw Rio Ferdinand's tweet.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with, as you said in your tweet, I don't know what's happening with the English defenders criticizing Argentine defenders, Lisandro Martinez and Cuti Romero.
Yeah.
But Cuti Romero has been super important for Tottenham, not only defensively but offensively, scoring a few goals.
Yeah, I think he had, was it 2 goals in 2 games or 3 goals in 3 games or something? He's been good for them. Look, I mean, the whole debate about Romero is for another time and place. I think we could discuss it for probably an entire video, but he's someone that's consistently good, in my opinion, Romero. And similar to Messi, could you include Messi right now in the top 5? I know the league is not, the league is out right now, the Major League Soccer. But he's someone that will technically always be there. But in terms of form right now, those 5 for me are very good. Very good. Patrick saying Lisandro, Cuti, Dibu, M. Suhel, welcome, saying Barco and Paz are less experienced. Mr. Happy, Enzo, the 3 Martinezes and Paz. So that's Lisandro, Lautaro, and Emiliano. Emiliano Martinez as well, by the way. I mean, every time I watch Aston Villa or I watch the highlights, in every game, he has 1 or 2 incredible saves.
Yes.
I think they drew today, if I'm not mistaken, but
yes,
he always does very, very well. And Mr. Happy is a Manchester United fan. Okay, so 4 games in a row now, 4 wins in a row, for United. There might be a 5th, and I don't know if you saw this or if you've heard about it. Osvaldo, the Manchester United fan who has refused to cut his hair until they win 5 games in a row.
I saw a picture of that guy with Carrick, I guess.
His hair is like this right now, and it's cool to see. We'll see what it gives. But if they win their next game, which I believe is against West Ham, I think he'll finally cut his hair. But they're in good form. Yeah. All right. Continuing on, Argentine players left in the Champions League. We were talking about this off air. There's quite a bit. Arsenal, we have Gabrielense. Munich, no one. Liverpool, Alexis McAllister. Tottenham, Cuti Romero. Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez and Alejandro Garnacho, whom I don't think is going to make the World Cup. Sporting City, Madrid, Mastantuono. Inter, Lautaro. Juventus, I don't believe have anyone. Atletico with the most out of the bunch. They have like 10 Argentine players plus the coach. And Atalanta and Leverkusen. Leverkusen's another one. And Olympiacos with Santiago Hesse.
And Ortega.
Ortega as well, yes. Francisco Ortega. Galatasaray with Icardi. And of course, Benfica. Benfica with there's 2 of them, right?
And Prestiani.
Otamendi, Prestiani. There was no third? No.
Barrenechea.
Right? Barrenechea. There you go. I was thinking who the third was. There you go. Barrenechea.
They were left out of the Champions League. Marseille with Rulli, Valerdi, and Medina, I believe. Then
Medina, yes.
signed Guillois. I don't know how to pronounce it. The one from Kevin McAllister.
Yeah.
Villarreal, well, with Foyt that he's injured. Uh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So Ajax. Well, Ajax recently signed Mar Cariso.
True.
He just joined as well. Napoli. Simeone plays for Napoli. One of the sons.
I
Giovanni.
think
Is it Giovanni?
he used to play. Now he plays for Torino, I believe.
You might be right on that. Yeah, you're right on that. You're
Yeah,
absolutely
I
right.
think
Yeah.
he left
Yeah.
a few like a year ago, I think, or maybe
Yeah.
2 years ago.
I think right after they won the league, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken. You're probably right. You're right on that. So look, there's a lot. If you really look at it this year, I know we're still far away, but do you think an Argentine player lifts the Champions League trophy this year?
I think Chelsea might win it. I think. I
You
mean,
think Chelsea? Yeah,
they have a chance. I think they're
they have
doing
a good
well.
team.
They have a good team. They won the Club World Cup, but it's true that the favorites might be Arsenal, which has no Argentine. I was thinking that they actually, out of the big six of the Premier League, Arsenal. I was thinking about Arsenal, and I was never a big fan of it, just because I don't remember Argentine players other than Dibu Martinez that he just played a few matches.
So you had Nelson Vivas, but
Oh,
this
but that
was
yeah,
back in I want to say 98 up until 2001 or 2002,
yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. But I mean, Emiliano Martinez, he's the only one, at least for the time being, that comes to mind. I'm sure we could Google this. Give me just a sec, and we'll be able to get
Yeah.
it. Uh,
Because
but I
then the
want to say
other
Nelson Vivas.
teams, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Tottenham,
Yeah,
Chelsea, plenty of Argentines.
yeah, yeah. I was okay, so I was right on that. It's Emiliano Martinez and Nelson Vivas from 1998 until 2001. Okay, I thought he stayed there till 2002, but 2001. So 3 years. He played 68 games with the club.
Yeah,
Yeah, Arsenal's not never really signed a lot of Argentine players.
yeah. I think they're the biggest favorites to win the everything Premier
They're
League, Champions League.
they're good, and I think they're gonna win the Premier League. I don't know how they're gonna manage to win both, in the sense of they have a lot of squad depth. I think Arteta's a good manager, but in the big Champions League games, I'm curious to see how they'll do. I'm not saying they won't win the Champions League at all, but I'm just curious, like how well they'll do in the big games in the Champions League. But they are favorites for sure, 100%. I'm looking. I'm inclined to say Chelsea. By the way, I think Chelsea can do well. They're just inconsistent. You never know what games they're going
Yeah,
to play well and what game they don't. Um, let's see. Liverpool,
yeah,
I don't think so. Bayern is always there. Bayern Munich is solid.
yeah. Out of
Barcelona,
the
hey, I'd love Barcelona. Don't get me wrong. That's for me personally. I'd love Barcelona, but again, inconsistencies at times. It's tough
yeah,
to
out
tell.
of all the teams with Argentines, I think Chelsea is the one most likely to win it out of all those teams with
Yeah.
Argentines. Then Real Madrid will have to play the playoff. The I think it's round of 16. I want to
Don't they
say.
play? Don't they play Benfica? Or if
Yeah,
Benfica makes it out, they play Benfica.
exactly. Well, actually, Real Madrid Benfica was also the last match of the eighth
Yeah,
match. It was crazy, and now
yeah,
they play against each other again. But you can never underestimate Real Madrid. I think that they will probably defeat Benfica,
yeah.
and you have Mastantuono there. So I believe that Real Madrid and Chelsea might be the teams with Argentines with the most chances.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I do agree. I mean, Atletico, interesting. So they play Club Rouge in the knockout phase, and then after that, they face either if they win, they face either Tottenham or Liverpool.
Oof.
So and Liverpool's inconsistent. Tottenham is Tottenham; they're inconsistent as well. So we will have at least one Argentine player in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I would think so. I would think so. But yeah, it's tough to say. It's tough to tell. Let's continue with the chat. Patrick, we forgot Giovanni Simeone in the top five performers. He's done well. Wait, Giovanni or Giuliano?
Probably Julian.
I want to say Giuliano.
Julian has done well, yeah.
Yeah, he has, and he's another one that's probably going to make the World Cup, I think, for Argentina. Um, Jack Otako, one major issue is the all out of form players from Atletico. How will this factor into the national team? We have so many starters who represent Atleti and are struggling. Yeah, I mean, there was the big case of Thiago Almada. Was not getting any minutes. Uh, I mean, Juan Muso's the backup. Molina doesn't get much minutes. Alvarez didn't play in the last match.
I
And yeah,
think I think Alvarez had like a last minute issue, like health issue. I think a stomach
okay.
issue or something like that. That's what has been reported. They the last match, I think they won like 5-0, right, against
Yeah, they won 5-0.
Athletic.
Yeah,
Almada scored, Simeone scored, I believe. Yeah, for me, it's unacceptable how Simeone is not playing Almada more. It
no, not
doesn't
getting
make
any
much
minutes.
sense.
Hasn't been getting minutes. And look, Almada is someone that's done very well for Argentina. I think he was probably Argentina's best player, one of the best players last year for the national team. He's been that good, or he was that good. And I think he's going to be an important player at the World Cup. A massive player. I think he could be huge for us. But we'll see what happens with Atletico. Villarreal fan TV saying, true, Arsenal doesn't go for Argentinians, usually French players historically. Yeah, under Arsene Wenger historically. He was there for a long time. It's been more French players.
Yeah.
And Preciano is much better than Massantuono. A little bit different, yeah. A little bit different in positions as well. This is a bold statement. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't want Simeone at Atletico anymore, and a lot of people do.
Yeah. Yeah, I really believe this might be Simeone's last season. I think there's a lot of chances.
There's a lot going on, I think. Yeah, I think so. I think so. And he's been there for a while. Was it 14 years now? 13, 14
Wow.
years? I remember he joined, I want to say 2012, 2011, 2012. And his one of the first big upsets, I think he beat Madrid in the Copa del Rey. He eliminated them. If my memory doesn't completely fail me, it was something like that. So, yeah. All right. So that was the Champions League. Getting over to the Europa League, we have Lyon with Tagliafico, Aston Villa with Miano Martinez and Buendia, Betis, Lo Celso not part of the Betis squad because of injury.
Yeah, there's Avila too in Betis. Chimi Avila,
Ah, yes, you're right at Avila.
striker.
Yeah, Valentin Gomez, Porto, another one. Braga, I don't believe Braga has any Argentine players. I could be wrong.
No.
No. I know Porto has a couple. I'm remembering two, but I know they have like three. Porto has, okay, they have Perez, Nehuan Perez, Varela, of course, and Thomas Perez.
Thomas Perez. Okay.
Thomas Perez from Newell's. So he's there. Braga, no. Freiburg, no. Roma with Dybala and Sule. Genk, Bologna with Santiago Castro
And Dominguez.
and Dominguez. Stuttgart, Stuttgart
No.
had someone.
They used to have back in the day Ascasibar, right?
That was a couple of years
But
back.
that
Yeah,
was
and Nico Gonzalez as well.
Nico
But
Gonzalez.
I thought recently they had Nottingham Forest with Nico Dominguez. Celta Vigo. Does Celta Vigo have anybody? I don't believe they do. They do. Oh my gosh, Franco Servi. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Franco Servi. That's a name. That takes me back a little bit. Lille, I don't believe Lille have anyone.
No.
Fenerbahce, Panathinaikos, Celtic, no. That's about it. That's for the Europa League.
Yeah.
That's for the Europa League. I could see, I mean, Roma, depending on how things go, Betis, Porto, Villa,
Aston
maybe
Villa.
Aston Villa. Yeah, I think Villa. Maybe Villa.
I think Villa
Or Lyon.
and Porto are doing really well in the Portuguese league. They're a very solid team.
They are.
I definitely think that the Europa League, as it was last year, is gonna be a final between Argentines.
You think so? I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. Let me take a look at the table real quick. Yeah, it's we could get an Argentine or two in the final for sure. All right. I know we're getting a little bit towards the end, but We have this every single week, Osvaldo. It's the Mundo Albiceleste trivia, and there's a lot going on.
Exactly, and we're gonna go to the three questions that were on our site last week. You can participate by going to mundoalbiceleste.com/trivia. You could play every week for the chance to win a ball signed by Julian Alvarez. That goes for the winner. Right after the World Cup, we're gonna give it away for the one that answers most questions right, the one that knows more about the Albiceleste. There's also other prizes for second and third place. I think for second place, no, I don't remember exactly. Let me see. Actually, I have them here at the website. For second place, it's the runner-up will receive a Lionel Messi Inter Miami jersey. Really good. And third
Wow.
place will earn an official Argentina hat. And so far, let me tell you, Roy. So far, we only have six people playing the trivia. So there's a lot of
You
chances
could,
for those ones that wanna subscribe now before it's too late,
yeah.
and play and participate. And yes, the question from last week, Roy. Let's see if
Yes.
you know the answers. I think you would know them. So maybe we
Let's
can
do it.
wait for someone in the chat that you can
Let's
also
go.
try to guess. And the first question is: before joining Tottenham Hotspur, Christian Romero played for which club? I can give you
Uh,
options if you want.
I mean, I know the answer. I'm just going to give it a couple of moments, but I know the answer to this one. And there was a bit. This could be not a trick question, but he was signed somewhere and then went to the other club really quickly as well. So give it a couple of moments in the chat. But let's say it was in Italy before I give the answer,
Yes.
or before I give my answer, anyways. It
Yeah,
was in
he
Italy.
he started in Belgrano de Córdoba in
Yeah,
Argentina,
yeah,
and then he went to Italy.
yeah. And I'll say Atalanta.
Yes, and the
Went to
answer
Atalanta.
is right.
Yeah, he was at Juventus before, Atalanta on loan, then Atalanta, and then yeah, yeah.
Great.
Let's
Let's
do it.
go.
Side note: Messi scored a couple of minutes ago for Inter Miami in the friendly versus
Okay.
Barcelona, but not Catalonia Barcelona, but Ecuador Barcelona, and
Okay.
Ecuador. Sorry, Barcelona tied, so it's 1-1 right now.
Okay. Cool. Cool. I
Yeah.
want to see how is Messi's goal. Let's go to the second one. That
Yes.
it's who scored Argentina's second penalty in the shootout against France in the 2022 World Cup.
Ooh.
Was
Uh,
it? Yeah. Tell me.
I know the answer, but if you want to give the options, go for it. For those in the chat that want to participate.
Was it Paulo Dybala? Was it Leandro Paredes or Lionel Messi?
Oof, oof. Well, the crazy part is all three of them took a penalty kick in the final,
Yes.
and I'm just thinking the pressure. If you really think about it, the pressure that was on Dybala when he came on as a substitute at 3-3, not just the clearance he made at the end, but really the penalty. And I'll give my answer. He took the second penalty. But the
Yeah.
pressure to go after Messi, because it's always been Messi Paredes, Messi Paredes. The only time where it wasn't was in 2021, the Copa, where it was Messi, De Paul, and then Paredes, and De Paul missed.
Yeah.
So
Do you
it's
think
all,
he kicked the
yeah,
penalty well?
no.
I think I agree.
Well, look, there was a story of, I can't remember who said it. I believe it was Dybala. He said it after. He said before the penalty kick, Emiliano Martinez told him go down the middle because Dybala wanted to go diagonally. So Dybala was going to shoot where Lloris dived, where he dove,
Oh wow.
and Martinez told him shoot down the middle, and it's a good thing he shot down the middle. Was it properly shot? I don't know about that. I want to say no, but he scored, and that's the most important thing.
Yes. Yeah, I remember hearing that story from either Emi Martinez or Dybala, and I think the exact thing that Martinez told him was that if the one that goes before, in this case Messi,
Mm-hmm.
scores, then goes through the middle because that means for the goalkeeper, based on Emiliano Martinez's experience, when they already score one goal against you, you don't
Yeah,
want to just stay there in the middle and have them score again because it's you wanna dive
you
to
want to
one side
move.
or the other. So it
Yeah,
was
you
a
want to
great
move.
advice. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. And there's Look, I'm not going to argue this. Villarreal fans saying that penalty kick was horrible. It wasn't very good. And actually, very similar. Enzo, when Enzo Fernandez missed versus the Netherlands, Martinez said, I think I heard this just from Martinez. I don't know if Enzo ever spoke about it, but Martinez apparently told Enzo before the penalty kick, go down the middle. And Enzo said, no, I'm going to go left. And Enzo told him, Emiliano told him, go down the middle. And
Well, I
he
don't
went
know.
and he missed. And that's why if you watch clips, and it made sense now that after I heard it, if you watch clips after the penalty kick, after Argentina won, Martinez, there's like a clip where Martinez he doesn't slap Enzo, but he gives him a little smack behind the head. So, look, if Emiliano Martinez tells you to do something, you do it. And
Yes.
That's how I say it.
Especially in a penalty shootout.
Especially in a World Cup.
Yes.
Especially in the World Cup. Heart was in my throat. Man, all the penalty kicks, if you really think about it, Messi's effort was in slow motion. Dybala, Paredes slipped a little bit on his kick.
Yes.
And, oh boy. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Patrick. All right, so I want to say Dybala, I think. It's Dybala.
Yes. The answer is correct, and we can go to the third question.
Yes.
Who was fouled to win the penalty that Lionel Messi scored in the 2022 World Cup final? This is kind of an easy one.
It's a very easy one, and it's someone that I would still like to see playing with the national team right now. Probably the Messi aside, the biggest big game player the national team has ever seen at this point, in my opinion, Di Maria.
Yes. The options were Julian, McAllister, or Di Maria, and of course, Di Maria is the answer. There's no point of going back to this. I don't think that was a penalty, if you ask me, but it's okay. We'll take it. I don't know. It was.
For me, that was in the modern game. For me, that's a penalty. If you go back 20 years ago, he barely touched him, but there was contact. And for me, it's one of those things where there was contact. Was there enough contact to trip him? Maybe. I mean, he's running and there's a clip and he feels it. So that one, maybe, if there enough to bring him down. But modern game, that's 100% a penalty kick.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, well, that was the trivia. That was last week's trivia, and the trivia for this week is already up on their site. So everyone that wants to participate, you guys can go and participate.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Osvaldo. And we have one more thing before we end things off, and it's the start of the month. We have the end of the month just a couple of days ago. We do this every month, and it's the retro giveaway. It's the retro giveaway, Osvaldo.
Exactly, and I think you might have the image at some point there, Roy. We're giving away the month of February, the 2006 Argentina home jersey, the one that was worn, for example, by Maxi Rodriguez, Esteban Cambiaso, Crespo, Messi, Carlos Tevez. We did a giveaway a few months ago on the away jersey, also a really nice jersey. Here we have it. There you see Maxi Rodriguez. He scored what an amazing goal against Mexico. That's my first memory of a soccer match, probably.
Really?
So the World Cup. I remember watching the 6-0 against Serbia and Montenegro. Mm-hmm. I remember. I really don't remember much about the match against Mexico, to be honest, but I remember the penalty shootout with Germany, like slightly. I remember how my family was like sad about it.
Yeah,
that's what I remember.
Okay. Yeah, that was it, in my opinion. And I mean, I love the jersey in 2014 and obviously 2022. This was probably, with those two, I think this was probably my favorite jersey, along with 2022. Just the look of it, I absolutely adored it. I have this one with Riquelme, and I have the dark blue one with the Messi. I know you have the dark blue one with Riquelme, but this jersey and this goal in particular from Maxi, wow, what a goal! What a goal! And I'll use this opportunity just because I'll mention it any chance I get. When I met Maxi in Florida when I was in Miami, I thanked him so much for that goal.
Yes, I remember you showed me the picture, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, great goal, and beautiful jersey, beautiful
beautiful
jersey.
jersey. That World Cup, in terms of jerseys, in terms of players too. Maybe it's just being nostalgic, but
No,
uh, just the Argentina team was amazing. Saviola, Tevez, Crespo,
Riquelme,
Cambiaso, Mascherano, Riquelme, Ayala, eh,
even Sorin. I loved Sorin. Messi,
Abondancieri. I always love Abondancieri also because he was in Boca
underrated,
Juniors.
underrated,
Um,
and a
yes,
very good at penalty shootouts. And I truly think if it was him instead of Leo Franco against Germany in the shootouts, I'm convinced Argentina would have won. He was very good at
yeah,
shootouts.
yeah. You know, a funny story is that I always love Abondancieri, and of course, I always love Palermo too. My
Okay.
mom never really watched much soccer, but at some point they were the coaching staff of Godoy Cruz when Palermo just started the like coaching, and Abondancieri was his assistant. And my mom, because of work, she went to Mendoza, and
Okay.
he was in the flight with the people from Godoy Cruz, and he
Oh
saw
wow.
Palermo, and he was sitting right next to Abondancieri. But he didn't she doesn't know much about soccer. She didn't recognize Abondancieri, just recognized Palermo. She got me a signature of Palermo, and then after like leaving the plane or whatever, somebody told her like, "Hey, that was Abondancieri one," and she was like, "No, I can't believe it because I would have died
No.
for the signature of both of them," you know?
Yeah. Oh no. That's a cool story. That's a very
Yeah.
cool story though. You still have the signature, the autograph?
Yes, I got it. I actually have it right here.
Ah, nice.
Look, I can show you. One second.
Nice, of course.
See if I can show you. So that's the a Boca Juniors jersey.
Oof.
Can you see?
Oof.
And
Of
here you see
course.
the Palermo signature. Look, December 5, 2013.
Oh la la.
Says for
Okay.
Osvaldo, para Osvaldo, Palermo.
Hmm. Palermo. Nice. That's a very, very nice gift. And that's a very nice story.
Yes, yes, yes.
Even with the Abbondanzieri part, that's still cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny.
That's so cool. Nice, nice. But no, all this to say that was yeah, and I do agree, that was a very good Argentina team. And that World Cup in particular, not just Argentina, but that World Cup had a lot of legendary players from
True.
all all teams, but Argentina specifically. Riquelme, Crespo, Messi, Tevez, Ayala, Cambiaso, Maxi, so many good players. Mascherano,
Yeah.
Sorin. Oh man, Scaloni was there.
Scaloni was there.
Scaloni was
Yes.
there as well. Yeah. But all right, so that's the giveaway for this month. All the details, of course, all on mundoalbiceleste.com. And yeah,
Perfect. And the
but
last thing, Roy, if you let me,
yes,
is just
of
that we
course,
also, if you get the, if you
yes.
subscribe to Mundo Albiceleste and you participate for the giveaway, for the trivia, you can also get 20% off on these jerseys of Argentina iconic moments. This is, for example, the one,
Uh,
the Hand of
the,
God, the famous Hand of
yeah,
God. You have also, for example, this one talking about the 2022 World Cup. Let's see there.
beautiful, beautiful.
Great save.
All the
So
details. Yeah, bring it up on the graphic.
perfect, perfect.
There you are. Yeah, it's all there. That's the link right there. And get 20% off plus free shipping on all shirts and limited time only. So get them today. All right. Uh, we've gone about an hour here, Osvaldo. I don't think we were
Oof.
planning to go an hour, but I loved it. I loved interacting with you, and of course, and as always, with everybody in the chat. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
Excited for this year. Uh, I think the Finalissima should be a great match. I'm very excited to finally see after a few months. Last year we didn't play against any European team that is really good as it will be Spain. I think they're the best national team in the world right now, along with Argentina, and it's gonna be a great test. I'm confident that we are gonna win. I really hope so. Um, and I think that they also have some injuries, as we mentioned before. I believe that it could be a great energy boost for the Argentina team, the fans, if we win against Spain, as it was when we won against Italy.
Yes, that was a big one, a big boost, absolutely. And it's same as you. It's I think this year for Mundo and for the national team, I think it's going to be a big one. The Finalissima is next month. We're starting with that, and what a way to start the year for the national team, and not just against anyone, against like you said, along with Argentina, the best national team in the world. And it'll be interesting to see how we match up to Spain and how Spain matches up to Argentina. Because a lot of people say, oh, the big test for Argentina will be against Spain. Yes, but the big test for Spain will be against Argentina as well. So two of the best national teams, or the two best national teams right now in the
Yeah.
world.
By the way, you want to know before we wrap things up?
Yeah.
You want to know this? What's gonna be the starting 11 for Argentina against Spain? I know it. If no
Okay.
one gets injured,
Go for it,
ready?
Osvaldo. Yes.
It's gonna be Diego Martinez, Tagliafico, Elisandro Martinez, Cuti Romero, Nahuel Molina. It's gonna be Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister, Rodrigo de Paul, Messi, Julian Alvarez, and Nico Gonzalez.
You know what? I will agree with you on that. I think Scaloni is going to be in a good way, not in a bad way. I think he'll be predictable in his lineup.
Yeah, and Nico Gonzalez instead of Almada because we want to defend ourselves very well against Spain.
We want to defend. No, I can see that. I can fully see that. And you know what? In a way, I kind of hope he goes with that because I want to see Molina and I want to see De Paul. I still think De Paul has it in him, especially in the big games. I don't doubt him, but I'm curious to see after moving to the MLS how he's going to perform.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be against that 11. At least not for this one.
My only doubt would be maybe Montiel instead of Molina. So we're not too offensive there, and we defend a little bit better maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's another one. But I think overall, I think that's probably what we're going to get. I think so too. All right. On that note, I want to say a big thank you, Osvaldo, and a big thank you to everybody that joined us in the chat and everybody watching us on YouTube and elsewhere. As always, hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notifications button to be the first person notified as soon as we go live or a new video drops. My name is Roy Nemer of MundoAlbiceleste.com, joined by Osvaldo Godoy, also of MundoAlbiceleste.com. Until next time, everybody, take care.